A very good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and thank you so very much for joining the Life Signatures Radio. It's a daily show where I talk about purpose, productivity, and resilience. We've been looking at many things in the recent past on the subject of work. In my estimation, over 40 episodes have gone into this. My goodness. And we are continuing to talk about the same. The thing that we're handling today, and we've been handling it over the past 10 or so episodes, is why people do not work at work. As in, you've been given an opportunity to work. You've been employed, so to speak. You're drawing a salary every end month, but you ain't working. And you clock in every day. You ain't working. Probably you do not even know that you're not working. Probably your boss does not even know that you're not working. I'm talking about working to your capacity, the best of your capacity. There are some things that are making you not to do that, and I'm going to give you a recap, and then we'll discuss one more today. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
So let's do a recap as promised. Number one, why people do not work at work. It sounds like an oxymoron. Why people do not work at work. Anyway, number one, people do not work because they are distracted. Okay? Number two, people do not work because they are indisciplined. Number three, people do not work because they procrastinate a lot. Number four, people do not work because they have a mentality of a job. Number five, people do not work because they are purposeless. Number six, yesterday, people do not work because they are seeking for comfort. Those are the six main. Let's continue. Number seven, this is a big one and one of the most common. And I hate it. I hate it. And I know you also hate it. As a human being, let me tell you one of the things that we hate. All of us. Even though we participate in it, we hate it. After a while, we just look at ourselves and we hate ourselves for it. Number seven, people do not work because of laziness. Laziness, just pure old lazy. I hate laziness. I mean, you join up with someone, you want to do something together, and you're the only one who is pulling rank. You're the only one who is pulling all the stops. You're the only one who is putting in all your airtime. You're putting all your blood, all your sweat, all your tears. And they are lazy. Lazy bones. Laziness is responsible for the degradation of man's soul. My goodness, that's tweetable. It's responsible for degrading your self-image. It's responsible for degrading your psyche. It's responsible for making you useless as a human being. Laziness. Lazy bones. Don't ever celebrate your laziness. Now, when I'm talking about laziness, I'm not talking about resting. There's a place for resting. There's a place for comfort. There's a place for relaxation. There's a place for scheduling all those things. But don't be a lazy bone for the sake of just being a lazy bone. People do not work at work because they are lazy. Laziness, I've come to know, does not stand on its own. It pegs itself on several other factors, some of which we have already discussed, by the way. Laziness is not a seed. It is indeed a fruit. a fruit of something, a fruit of other things. Take, for example, distraction. If you're not working because you're distracted by, say, banter, social media, flirting, laziness ends up being the fruit. The seed was the original distraction. So what am I suggesting, therefore, is that if you can take care of all the other things we've talked about, the 6 things we've talked about, it will make you firmly in control, and chances are that you will end up putting a firm lead on the spirit of laziness. Laziness, let me tell you this, you cannot, might not, will not get a reason for being lazy. You will always get an excuse, not a reason. Do not be fooled. It is a personal thing. You cannot blame your wife. You cannot blame your children. You cannot blame your president. You cannot blame the economy. You cannot blame your boss. You cannot blame anybody for your laziness. It's a personal thing. It's basically like if you don't shower. You cannot blame me for not showering. All things put constant, by the way. It is not something that you can blame your great-grandparent. Say, oh, it's a generational curse. It's not a generational curse. Stop spiritualizing laziness. It's you are lazy. However much you want to label it as a generational curse, it's a personal thing. I found out that the cure for laziness is mental. One has to fight laziness prompt, immediately, with fierceness. The only thing laziness does need is one small little lingering chance. Few seconds, like 10 seconds, 10 of them. Laziness has festered, has become cozy, has set its bed. You are lying on it. One has to fight laziness promptly, immediately. It rears its ugly head, and laziness sneaks up on you using several enticing illusionary feelings. But you must, once it comes in, at once you must nip it in the bud before it sprouts. It is possible to see many people at work, but very few people are really working. It's a sad thing. It's not an African thing, it's a human thing. It's a sad thing. And there are some bosses who normally look at head count. You come into your office and you look and you see everyone is there, and you go to your office, lock the door, happy. Nah. You do a research. Do a survey. As in, if God were to tell you what individuals in the company did every single minute of the day, you will notice that the ratio of work to non-work is staggering. It's heartbreaking. Very few guys are actually committed, and have realized that laziness does not discriminate those who have a purpose at work and those who don't. It doesn't. When there is no immediate penalty for laziness, there is no immediate penalty for not working, laziness comes alongside and introduces herself as your best friend. And we must learn to exercise this enemy. It's a demon. We must learn to exercise this demon immediately. Immediately the auto-suggestion goes on in your mind. That's the point. To come with guns blazing and saying, I ain't gonna be lazy. Like I said earlier on, if you can deal with distractions, if you can deal with indiscipline, if you can deal with procrastination, if you can deal with your mentality of job versus work, if you can deal with purposelessness, and if you can deal with What's the other one we talked about yesterday? If you can deal with seeking comfort, I'm so 100% sure that you are killing laziness as you do these things. But there's got to be some consciousness in you today that laziness is also a thing. And what do? Because laziness is not something that you exercise once and it's gone. No, laziness is killed by daily discipline. Daily discipline. That's what takes care of laziness once and for all. Once and for all means every day. Every waking day, I have got to live above the spirit of laziness. Otherwise, I ain't going to work. Tomorrow, we are going to bring to a close this mini-series. We've been talking about the things, 8 things that make people at work not to work. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.